Mr. Mumm.
Good morning, Chairman Bishop and members of the subcommittee. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning to testify. I am the Executive Director of the Blue Ribbon Coalition, which is often referred to as BRC. BRC has individual, business, and organizational members in all 50 states. We champion responsible recreation and access, and we encourage individual environmental stewardship. BRC has a long-standing interest in the protection of the values and the natural resources found on our public lands and waters, including those of the National Forest System. This morning, I'd like to address each stated issue for this hearing, starting with the proposed planning rule. From the outset, BRC has been extensively involved in the planning rule revision process. We are most concerned that in this current effort, the Forest Service has strayed far from the core purpose for revising the planning regulations, and it has strayed from the congressional mandates of multiple-use sustained yield. In fact, the proposed rule threatens to create new goals and criteria, which will exacerbate, not resolve, the planning gridlock that's accelerating through the agency. It's ironic that the agency continues to be mired in a decades-long effort to make the process of forest planning more streamlined and more efficient, but it does not build on the lessons learned in prior efforts. Instead, it threatens a new vision fraught with uncertainty. We support the need to revise the current planning rule, and if the fundamental underpinnings were correct, BRC would be the first to back such a rule. However, the proposed rule does not carry the broad support from those most affected by it, because a long history demonstrates it will only make things worse. BRC is asking this committee to urge the Forest Service to steer this effort back to its necessary focus to 1, fill the current regulatory void, and 2, create efficiency and expediency in the forest planning process. We are also concerned with travel management. The organized motorized recreation community supported the 2005 travel management rule based on the growing importance of recreation on Forest Service lands, the need for clear management guidance, and the recognition that effectively managed motorized recreation is a legitimate and productive use of the National Forest System. The motorized transportation system is not a single-faceted end product, but a means to nearly every form of recreation and use on the National Forest. Virtually everyone is motorized when they visit our natural forests, even for the activities that are often labeled as non-motorized. The true economic impact of the motorized transportation network on the forest system is immense, but it is not properly quantified. Unfortunately, in many forests, the TMR has been incorrectly interpreted by many preservationist interests within and beyond the Forest Service to justify landscape-level closures, including well-established, mapped routes that are historically part of local transportation systems. A wave of litigation has predictably followed publication of new motor vehicle use maps under the TMR, all of which has created additional means by which to threaten and paralyze effective local management. The changes following that litigation are often not predictable, but can influence broader agency policy. In general, the end product of the TMR is more often not what was intended, and is having a profoundly negative impact on dependent local communities. And finally, recreation enthusiasts struggle with special use permits. At a time when federally managed land should be contributing to the economic vitality of our nation, it's unacceptable that the recreation permit process, as it's currently implemented on the Forest Service lands, is overly bureaucratic, expensive for both the agency and the public, and often applied in an unfair and arbitrary manner. The current process no longer serves the public interest, nor does it support the goals and objectives of land use planning. Efforts to encourage the agency to modify and streamline the process have failed. We believe that congressional oversight and even legislation is necessary to encourage the agency to modify and streamline the permit process. I appreciate this subcommittee providing this oversight hearing, and I'm happy to answer any questions or provide further information.